Uh, Dear participants, we are about to start the meeting in next 5 minutes. Welcome Mr. Gaurav Anand, the resource person of the first session. Mr. Gaurav, Mr. Gaurav, are you here? Ma'am, is my voice is audible?
Yes, sir, it is audible.
Yes, yes. Hello, Mr. Gaurav. Nidhi Kaushal ma'am, kindly make our resource person the co-host of
Yes,
this
sir.
meeting.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Gaurav sir is co-host now.
Okay.
Oh, wonderful.
Hello.
I can mute and talk.
Yes, yes.
Hope you guys can hear
uh,
me and see me clearly.
Hello, Gaurav. How are you?
Doing well. How are you doing?
Fine, fine. So we are about to start the meeting sharp at 6 p.m.
Sure.
Okay. So I request Nidhi Kaushal ma'am to please share the video. And within 5 minutes, we are going to start the first session of today. So we are going to start the session. Dear participant, I am Professor Vikram Sharma, coordinator of this online FTP, and it gives me immense pleasure to extend a warm welcome to all of you on the fourth day of our 6-day online FDP on AI for Atmanirbhar Bharat, empowering innovation, industry, and inclusive growth under the Atal program. Today we have two insightful sessions. The first session will be delivered by Mr. Gaurav Anand, Associate Director, KPMG Bengaluru, on the topic Beyond Automation, AI as the New Growth Engine for Modern Business. The second session will be conducted by Professor Dr. Prateek Bhatia, Associate Professor, School of Electrical Engineering and Computer Science, Washington State University, USA, on the topic AI in Education, hands-on demos to transform teaching and learning. For this session, we are delighted to have with us Mr. Gaurav Anand, who has already joined this meeting. On behalf of the organization committee, I extend a heartfelt welcome to you, Mr. Gaurav. It is indeed a matter of pride that you are proud alumnus of DAV College, Amritsar. I think you are our pass out batch of 2001 or 2002. So we are sincerely grateful to you for accepting our invitation and for taking the time to share your valuable knowledge and professional insights with the participants of this FDP. I am confident that today's session, like those of the previous days of our online FDP, will prove to be a highly enriching and intellectually stimulating for all the participants. Now, I would like to invite my fellow colleague, Dr. Renu Sharma, the rapporteur of this session, to formally welcome and introduce our esteemed resource person, Mr. Gaurav Anand. Over to you, Renu ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone. I, Dr. Renu Sharma, rapporteur of today's session, along with Professor Nidhi Kaushal, technical coordinator welcomes you all to the first session of fourth day of Faculty Development Program on AI for Atmanirbhar Bharat, empowering innovation, industry, and inclusive growth. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our respected resource person, Mr. Gaurav Anand. He is a highly experienced professional in the field of information technology and digital transformation with almost 20 years of experience in leading major projects across the world. At present, Mr. Anand is working as Associate Director at KPMG India, one of the leading global consulting firms. In this role, he leads large digital transformation projects for Shell, a global energy company across many countries such as United States, Canada, Europe, Brazil, and the Gulf of Mexico. He looks after the overall delivery of projects related to web and mobile applications, artificial intelligence, generative AI, data platforms, robotic process automation, and business process management. Before joining KPMG, he worked with many well-known companies such as Tata Digital, Sapient, Aon Consulting, and the Royal Bank of Scotland. At Tata Digital, he worked on the Tata New app, especially on the projects related to financial and insurance products. At Public Sapient, he led digital transformation projects for Fidelity International UK. Earlier at Aon Consulting and RBS, he managed technology and banking projects that improved customer service and compliance. Mr. Anand started his career as software engineer at Satyam Computers and later worked at Sun Life Financial, where he gained deep technical knowledge in software development and enterprise system. In terms of education, Mr. Anand holds a bachelor degree in computer application from Guru Nanak Dev University, Amritsar, and a master's in computer application from Punjabi University, Patiala. He also completed the senior management program from the Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, one of the top management institutes of India. He believes in continuous learning and professional growth. He has several international certificates such as AWS, AI Practitioner, Microsoft Azure, Prince 2 Foundation, Scrum Master, ITI L Foundation, and leading SAF E5. These certificates show that his dedication to staying updated with new technologies and management practices. Mr. Anand is known for his positive attitude, teamwork, and ability to motivate others. He enjoys mentoring young professionals and believes that technology and education together can bring great changes to the society. Today, we are fortunate to have him with us to share his knowledge and experience. This is for participants. If you have any query or any question, please write in the chat box or ask at the end, as we have a dedicated question and answer session. Now I request our resource person to share his intellect with us.
Thank you, Vikram sir, and thanks, Renu ma'am, for such a humble introduction. Even I was trying to listen that I wasn't aware I have come so far in my career, right? So, but thanks a lot for that. Yeah, so let me quickly share my screen. But just check, you can hear me okay, right?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, wonderful. And you're able to see my screen? Let me know.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So, good evening, good afternoon, probably good morning also, because I work in global locations, everyone. So wherever you are joining from, and it's an absolute pleasure to be here with all of you today, and speaking to group of faculty members, academia, mentors is always a pleasure, because it's you people who will be shaping the next generation and how they will be using, interacting, and driving the technology and the society. So before that, before I get started, a quick 30-second introduction, what exactly I do as part of my role. So I work as an AI consultant with KPMG, wherein we help our clients across the globe to formulate and drive their digital and AI strategy. And I work across different domains, right from energy to pharma to manufacturing, insurance, banking, right? So, and I understand there are a couple of technical sessions that has already happened, and there are some very good sessions which are aligned today and tomorrow. So what I thought for today's session is to make you understand or to make the things look from a consultant lens, right? So what happens or how things get driven when we interact with clients and organizations, right? In the boardrooms, what kind of discussions happen, how organizations plan to take the AI journey, and how do they scale, what all are the different levers that they look at, right? Because I hear a lot of noise around, a lot of things, transformative things happening in AI these days, right? Right from agents to a lot of other things, right? Generative AI and stuff, right? So I'll just want to cut through all that noise and give you a brief what happens in the boardrooms and how, as an AI consultants, we drive the conversations, right? So today I'll take you on that short journey, right? That connects where we are today, where we are headed, and how artificial intelligence is quietly but yet powerfully redefining all the world around us, right? So the topic for today is beyond automation, AI as new growth engine for modern businesses, taking organizations from efficiency to innovation. So, okay. So let's start with a small thought experiment. Let's imagine year 2030, right? I know it's not too far off, but from an AI perspective, 5 years looks a pretty long time as of now, how things are changing every day, right? So how we are placed today. So today, when I look at the lot of large organizations, right? So plenty of work is still manual, right? The manual stuff is dominating the operations, and people are still inputting data into the systems, verifying it, validating it, approving it, and repeating the processes. However, in bits and pockets, the AI has started including as part of as AI co-pilots, which I see scaling up in near future, right? Which would help the employees to draft emails, analyze patterns, summarize the meetings, and helping them making better decisions and freeing up some of the time for strategic work, right? But by 2030, right? So something fascinating will happen. So AI agents will take over, right? AI agents will run the complete operational workflows autonomously, right? These agents will not just follow the instructions, right? These are the agents that will make the decisions, negotiate, coordinate, and execute tasks, right? With minimal or no human effort. And that brings us to as a critical question, right? As an academia, we preparing our students for the tasks that we see or work on today, or are we preparing our students for the transformation or the roles that are gonna emerge tomorrow, right? So that's what I will want to drive through today, and uh, because the next generation will not be managing the jobs that we have today, the data entry jobs, the coding jobs, right? They will manage the overall decision making ecosystem, and they need to be well prepared for that. So a journey today will unfold into 5 parts. I'll start with economic foundations. Probably you must be wondering why economic foundation as part of AI workshop, but yeah, we'll go through it. Why? Then I'll explain certain industry transformation examples we have. And then one of the most important factors in AI is ethical considerations, how we govern the overall infra and the structure of AI. The implementation roadmaps for bigger organizations, how do we approach it? And then on a closing note, a call of action for anyone in the way forward, right? And probably feel free to ask any question, put them in the chat. But yeah, I definitely won't take, I think, full 1 hour. So we will have some time for the questions towards the end. But whatever time I take, I hope I'll be able to do justice to your time. So AI through economics lens, right? Why economics? So basic question, right? Why do organizations exist? What is the primary objective of the organization? Is it to serve the customers? Is it to serve the society? Is it to invent product? So that are more of a buy roles, right? If I look at it, the primary role of any organization to exist is to make profits, to make money, right? So we cannot segregate anything and everything from an organization, right? Whatever it is doing, if we do not realize what is the economic impact or the economic value of that, of the technology of that product, right? So, and even if I look back in the history, right, some of the major technological revolutions that has happened in the history, right, they have either made something very critical cheaper, faster, or better, right? Be it steam engine, it made the travel faster and cheaper. Electricity brought the industrial revolution, made the production cost cheaper, faster. The internet, right? It made the cost of digital communication cheaper. That's why we have all that social media stuff now. It has made the production and delivery of goods and services over the internet, the digital goods and services over the internet cheaper and faster. So there's altogether a new internet economy today, which is flourishing, right? So that's why I want to give you insight from an economist lens, right? Now, when we go and consult with organizations, right? So from a technology perspective or from an AI perspective, we usually bucket them into 3 different categories, right? First is uncertain and inactive, right? So these are the companies wherein they are still caught in the cycle of analysis paralysis, right? They are still waiting for the right time to start. They are unsure where should they begin with, right? And they haven't thought of AI yet, right? They're still doing the things in the traditional way. The second is more of a experimenting. These are the organization, they have started their journey, but they are not yet there. They are building some proof of concepts, right? They haven't scaled it yet, but yeah, they have started the journey. They are trying to recognize the use cases wherein they can generate some return of investment, right? And then they can scale the operations. The third is which are fully prepared and deployed. So these are some of the pioneer organizations, right, where they have already doing a lot of things on AI. They have already embedded AI across their operations and building real competitive advantage in the market. So these are the 3 broader categories. We categorize every company that we consult with in their AI journey, where exactly they are. Now, the next thing that we look at is how should we adapt to the new technology, right? So there are 2 strategies to adapt to any new product or any new technology. One is wait and watch, and second is take the lead, right? Early adopters. So what wait and watch is whenever there's a new technology, right? So companies don't directly jump to the bandwagon, right? Because they don't understand the technology yet. They don't understand what impact would it have, how they can, leverage it. And some of those initial experiments are very expensive because you might make a lot of mistakes, and those mistakes could cost you a lot in terms of your customer base, in terms of your money, in terms of your reputation, right? So they don't want to risk. What they do is they just wait and watch, let other organizations or people use that. And once things are settled down, they figure out what can be done, then they jump the bandwagon and then they follow and adapt. That's what the strategy which is used by most of the organizations for most of the technologies that has been in picture since now, right? Another is take leadership position. So take leadership is as soon as the technology is out, you being a first mover, you go and adapt that technology, you start experimented, you launch products, right? But obviously you have some financial incentive associated with it to take a leadership position, right? So now, until now, we always recommended organizations to wait and watch until technology settles down. However, in case of AI, things are different. Why? Because in the history of mankind, AI is the only technology as of now which learns from its own usage, right? So in this case, AI wait and watch is an expensive or a risky strategy, right? Because while it's learning, it's you are getting a compounded advantage over that, right? So what do AI need to learn? Needs to for learning. It needs data, right? So let me go to the next slide. Yeah, okay. So what happens with AI is once you launch once you train something, right? You launch a product and then you get early users. Early users means you get more data that your competitors don't have. More data means you can use that data and improve your models. Once you improve your models, you get better predictions with AI. Better prediction means more users. More users means more data. So once that flywheel kicks in, it becomes very difficult for your competitors to catch up. So that's why we reinforce our clients to jump into the AI wagon as soon as possible, because once that flywheel kicks in, it becomes nearly impossible for competitors to catch up, right? So if I look at the organizations like Amazon, Google, Netflix, right, they have mastered this loop. That's why late entry is almost impossible to catch up. If I talk about search today, right, how many people use Google? So probably 90% of you would raise the hand. Then if I say, how many of you use others? Others could be Bing, right? Or Yahoo. Probably 10%, max 15% will raise hand, right? Why? Because Google search is much better. Why it is much better? Because more people are using it. Every time we use it, we are making its algorithm better, right? So it has developed that advantage, right? Due to the more usage and more data. So once we categorize the organizations, right, based on where they are and which technique they need to use to adapt to the technology, then the real economics comes into picture, right? So, and these are very basic economic concepts, right? Irrespective, and these have been there since long, and they stay as it is for any new product, service, technology, right? So now economic principles, right? So the basic economic principles, if you look here, is there are three basic principles. One is when cost of something falls, what happens? When cost of something falls, we start consuming more of it. Second, we discover entirely new use cases to leverage that new product or cheaper technology or faster something, right? And third is every technology or product, new technology or product has its complements and substitutes, right? The value of complements increase and the value of substitute declines. So I'll just quickly take 1 minute to explain you with this concept with a very simple example. Uh, let's take example of coffee, right? assume coffee is 1,000 rupees per kg now, right? And in January 2026, due to a very good production of coffee throughout the world, the the prices of coffee crash and coffee becomes 100 rupees per kg. Now, what do you think? What will happen if coffee drops from 1,000 rupees per kg to 100 rupees per kg? We start consuming more coffee, right? As we start consuming more coffee and coffee is become cheaper, people will start exploring where could I leverage or use coffee more, right? Probably they might start using more in confectionery, in cosmetics, and you never know, there might be some use cases. Someone might come up with an idea of let's use it as fertilizer, or let's use it for mix it with cement and use it for construction, right? So a number of other use cases will emerge to leverage the cheaper prices of coffee, right? And what is the substitute of coffee? The substitute of coffee is tea. What will happen with to the tea? The prices of tea will, or the value of tea will go down. And what are the complements of coffee? If I look at beverage, the complements, it's you need sugar and tea to make coffee. So what will happen to the prices of sugar and milk? They will shoot up because the consumption of coffee is increasing, right? So these are the basic principles from an economic lens, right? So whenever you are evaluating any technology or product, right, we try to look at it from an economic lens. What is it that it's making cheaper, faster, better for us? What are the different areas where we can still leverage this cheaper, faster, better technology? And what are its complements? That means some of those things whose value will rise. And what are some of those substitutes that we have in the organizations wherein the value can fall, right? So let's look from an AI perspective, predictive AI, sorry. What happened? The cost of prediction dropped by almost 10,000 times, right? When the cost of prediction fall, what happens? The usage increased. We started consuming more of it. We started consuming it in demand forecasting. We started using it in healthcare. We started using it in diagnostic. We started using it in financial risk assessment, right? We developed a lot of new use cases to that. Similarly, what happened with generative AI? It decreased the cost of content creation, right? We started using it for creative production, right? They started using it for code generation, right? So a lot of extra new use cases for that. And similarly with agentic AI now system don't just predict and generate, but they are now acting autonomously, right? So that means the cost of autonomous decision making and cost of taking action is decreasing, right? So from an economic angle, how would it impact? So that's what we try to analyze with organizations. Okay, moving on from automation to agency, right? So there's a very famous personality in AI world, Andrew Ng. I'm not sure if if you heard about it or listens to him. He said that AI is the new electricity now, right? Just as electricity transformed the industries a century ago, AI is now transforming every process, every product, and every profession, right? So this evolution from automation to agency is around, when I say automation, automation is about doing the same things faster, right? So when I'm trying to automate, it means I'm removing the human intervention and leveraging some technology to do the things faster. However, when I talk about agency, right, it's about entirely new things, doing entirely new things that we couldn't have imagined before. That's what is the possibility with AI. Okay, let me dig down into, okay, so we stand at technological crossroads now, right? We are at a cusp of a technology revolution, one that is fundamentally reshaping how we work, live, and create and innovate the things, right? Okay, digging down into some numbers, right? So when I look at these numbers, as per the McKinsey report, AI is projected to have a $13 trillion impact on the global GDP by around 2030. 70% of the CEOs that we talk to, right, they still are prioritizing AI in their digital strategy, in their organization strategy. 78% organizations are actively exploring the use cases for AI where they can adapt or change to AI. However, only 17% have reported some achievable, measurable impact, right? So if you look at these numbers, $13 trillion, 70% prioritization, 78% active organizations, right? But the impact numbers are very low still, right? So that means CEOs across the world, they are identifying or they are agreeing to the value of the AI that could add, but they are still not sure what impact they could have, right? There's where our job becomes critical as an AI consultant to identify why there's so much of gap and what areas need to be filled in so that gap can be minimized and we can really show the real business outcome. So this gap between adoption to impact, that's where the challenge lies. That's where all the solution need to fit into, right? Okay, moving on. So evolution of AI. So when I see as a consultant the evolution of AI, I see it in 4 different stages, right? The first one was the automation era, which was a simple rule-based system. If then else, if then, if then, if then. So we have limited numbers of use cases, right? These systems are very precise, consistent, and reliable. For example, we have bots working in warehouses, right? We can logically identify all the conditions and program it to operate in a closed environment. If there's a wall, turn left. If there's a shelf, this shelf is empty, go to the next shelf, right? So in a closed environment, using this automation, we had bots initially. Then we came to machine learning, wherein we taught computers to learn from data, find patterns, right? That's when AI started learning from itself. Then came the deep learning, right? Which pushed the boundaries really hard. We started recognizing images, speech, text, languages with incredible accuracy. The multimodals came into picture. And the last and the most recent one is more of a generative and agentic AI, where we have started creating all the original content. We can converse with AI. They can decide, take the decisions, right? And this evolution, if I look from automation to generative to agentic, right, has been astonishingly fast. It happened in, I think, last 1 decade only, right? And this uh, democratization of intelligence is one of the most profound shift that is happening in the AI history today, right? Uh, Sundar Pichai, right, the CEO of Google said, AI is more profound than fire and electricity, right? So it may currently sound exaggerating, but when we realize as AI can write, see, hear out, reason, right? You begin to see that sentiment holds a lot of weight. So that's how we see the progression of AI. So when did AI actually exploded, right? When was that aha moment of AI, right? So the world changed for AI in November 2022 when ChatGPT launched and it became the fastest growing technology in human mankind. It reached almost 100 million users in less than 2 months, right? And for many, it was the first interaction with AI. For industry leaders, it was a tripping point because the moment the discussions that were only happening in research labs, in boardrooms, now they became discussions at every home. They became the discussions at a dinner table, right? Or a coffee table chats. So suddenly AI is not something that only data science team can handle, right? It became accessible to everyone. So that phase from 2022 to 2025, that is called the great acceleration phase, right? So in last 3 years, where we have gone from what AI can do to what can't AI do, right? So it has been a transformative journey from last 3 years. Um, but yeah, that was more of around theory and how AI has evolved, how we segregate the organizations, what are their dilemmas, and how we drive them from confusion to clarity. Now, moving forward, so AI is no longer about efficiency, it's more around evolution now, right? So with generative AI and with agentic AI, organizations are looking forward to build completely new business models. It's not just about improving the operational efficiencies. Now they're looking at how they can transform their whole business model and how they can reach out to a customer differently, and they can innovate better products. So we'll go through how AI has impacted and in action with different uh, the core sectors of the economy, wherein right from hospitals to factories to classrooms to financial centers, and how each one faces a unique challenges and unprecedented approach. So starting off with healthcare. So healthcare, wherein AI has contributed a lot in terms of diagnosis, precision, and healthcare. So with AI is becoming a trusted assistant that every physician wishes to that he or she has, right? So when I look at numbers, right, around the diagnostic, so AI-driven diagnostic are improving detection by more than around 30 to 40%, whether it's early cancer screening or identify cardiac anomalies, right? So these uh, by using the machine vision, right, or AI vision, they can analyze thousands of scans in minutes and helping doctors to focus on what truly matters, which is care and treatment. So they are augmenting that knowledge with doctors so that the doctors can concentrate on better tasks. Then robotic surgery is another area wherein the boundaries are getting pushed in terms of precision and minimal invasion procedures, which is significantly improving the patient outcomes, reducing the recovery times, and minimizing the complications. So that's another area which is picking up at a lot of pace. There's a lot of investment that is flowing into healthcare from AI perspective. And some of the large organizations that are driving these automation are Philips, Siemens, right? So these are some of the areas wherein then we have predictive analytics, wherein a lot of AI is getting used to anticipate the health risk before it occurs by analyzing and manifesting the symptoms. So we are trying to shift from reactive to a proactive stage, wherein we can take some measures to have a better preventive care and can early detect the diseases before they happen, right? So imagine a world where, health systems no longer react to illness, but prevent it, and where AI and clinic clinicians work together to save lives and make the world better. And that's something which is not a sci-fi fiction at the moment, and it's happening in some of the large organizations in the country. So that's on healthcare. Moving forward, so finance is something which they are the early adopters of AI, right? So uh, I hope everyone is using AI, in some or the other way through banking application. When you interact with do any banking transaction or a credit card or a debit card transaction, right? So indirectly, you are interacting or sharing your data with the AI, right? So when I talk about banking or finance, in finance, AI is fundamentally changing how the money moves and how the trust is getting built. Banks now use AI to detect frauds in real time, right? Scanning millions of transactions and flagging anomalies instantly. So, and then we have investment firms who have deployed AI trading systems, right? The algorithms, they analyze thousands of variables per second and make precise trades. Then we have underwriting, which is risk assessments that are done through AI. And then the major profound impact as a customer where we see AI making a impact is personalized banking, wherein banks now are looking at delivering a tailored experience based on each customer need, right? So the financial industry, as in from an AI adoption perspective, right, it teaches us one of the key lessons that speed, scale, accuracy are no longer a competitive advantage in today's world. They are the table stakes. They are the must-haves. What actually makes a difference is the personalization. So that is one thing which AI is driving and helping organizations to take a lead. So that's on finance and moving to the education, right? So education is another field wherein, a lot of work is happening in terms of AI, and AI is potential in both personal and no, AI's contribution is very profound in education sector, right? So especially in case of education of people with special needs, wherein they need some personalized support because every person is different and they have a different learning pattern. So imagine if they have a teacher who can understand their learning style, their learning pace, the curiosity, right, where they are interested into of every student, right? And that's what AI tutors are doing for that special learning. They are adapting lessons in real time, giving personalized feedback, and ensuring no learner is left behind. So that's a lot of things are happening in adaptive learning in that space. And it's not replacing teachers as such, but it's giving them superpowers. So the best teachers of tomorrow will not who will compete with AI. So these will be the people who will collaborate with it, using data to understand the learning patterns and focus on empathy, monitoring, and creativity. And there's a lot of things happening in universal accessibility for education also, especially in Africa, wherein we have a lot of barriers, and through technology and AI, organizations are trying to break down those barriers to provide quality education, right? Wherein teachers cannot reach or they cannot afford teachers. So for those remote learners and students with special needs, there's a lot of work happening in Africa for that, right? And like Nelson Mandela said, right, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Now, AI is just making that weapon more sharper and more inclusive. So that's on education. And now I'll just touch base on one more area wherein a lot of work is happening around AI, and that is around the manufacturing. The factories are getting smarter. This is called the Industry 4.0 or the smart factory revolution. You may call it whatever you want, but primarily there are three major areas that organizations or production houses or factories are focusing on. The first one is predictive maintenance, wherein with the help of sensors, IoT devices, right? Uh, we keep on analyzing the all the equipment, and before any issue occurs, these sensors identify those failures, and then maintenance is scheduled. Smart factories, wherein they optimize the production lines in real time, and I'm not sure if you have heard, they are already started with dark floors or dark factories in China, wherein everything is done by bots. There is no human intervention since there are no humans on the floor. So factually, they don't need lights, right? So everything, they are saving electricity on lights, and so everything is happening in the dark. The production is happening through bots, completely automated. So that those are called dark factories. And last and final is a lot of things happening around the quality control through computer vision, which is capable of inspecting thousands of products every minute with a superhuman accuracy so that only the right products hit the market. So when I look at manufacturing, right, a lot of manual work is being eliminated, but that doesn't mean AI is replacing all the humans, right? It is just removing that repetitive load, allowing those humans to focus on innovation, safety, design, and some of the other strategic areas. So when you combine human creativity with machine consistency, right, you unlock exponential value. So that's some of the major sectors I wanted to cover where I see a lot of traction and a lot of investment coming in as part of AI investments. And AI is not replacing people as of now, it's reimagining the possibilities, what is feasible or what can be done, right? So we just need to see whether for AI, are we acting as a substitute? That means our value is going down, or are we acting as a complement? That with AI, our value is increasing. So we need to move from substitute to complements, right? So now one of the most important part, right? So as humans, how do we partner with AI, right? So as there's a very famous and beautiful quote in Spider-Man, right? With great power comes great responsibility. And we know how powerful AI is and how responsibly it needs to be handled, right? So as AI grows more capable, the question is no longer what AI can do. It's now shifted to what AI should do, right? That's a critical conversation shift that is happening. And when we look at AI from an organization standpoint of view, right? Ethics is one thing that stands out. So ethics is not just a checkbox, it is the foundation of the trust, right? Without trust, even the best technology fails and it can't create a sustainable value for in the long term, right? So I'll try to share with you some of the ethical challenges, right? When we work with the organizations that we try to address before they adapt or scale into the AI. So some of the ethical challenges that we look at it when we look at AI is algorithmic biasness, right? So AI, we understand, learns from data and data that is created by humans, right? So data reflects a human world and it has all the imperfections that we humans have, right? Yeah, our data carries biases, and if we have a bias in the data and we are trying to train an algorithmic model or AI model on that, the model amplifies those biases, right? So that means we must consciously design for fairness through diverse data set, inclusive teams, and continuous monitoring. Then we have privacy concerns, right? So AI's hunger for data is insatiable, right? It needs a lot of data. That's why you might be seeing now there's a profound movement for every organization to collect as much data as possible, right? Because when I look AI or when I look prediction AI, right? What are its complements? The complements are data and compute power. That are two things that are required for AI to make a prediction, right? So when the cost of prediction decreased, right, we started more of a prediction, started more using prediction more, right? But what are its complements? What is required to make a prediction? Data and compute. So that's why every organization wants your data. Data is new oil, right? You might have heard. And then compute is something every other organization is fighting for the GPUs now, right? So you understand the value of GPUs, NVIDIA, right? And AMD. It has skyrocketed, right? So on privacy concerns, so that raises the fundamental questions, right? Who is the owner of the data? How do we secure it? And how do we ensure the consent of the user to use their data? So organizations need to have clear governance framework to protect the user rights without stifling the innovation. We don't want to innovation to die down, but yes, there are huge penalties if we look at European Union or US if there are any privacy or data concerns, right? So organization, we always guide organization to be mindful of the privacy concerns. Then third is the job displacement, right? The risk is real, we know, right? Automation will change jobs. Some will disappear, but many new ones will still emerge. Our task is to prepare people for that transition, right? So we need to reskill people, we need to upskill people, we need to deploy the talent so that no one is left behind. So AI will not replace people, but people who are using AI effectively, right? Leveraging to its fullest will replace others who don't. So make sure we understand and make sure that we don't replace people directly in the organizations, but we train them, upskill them, and complement their work with AI. And last but not least is trust and transparency, right? So when I look at AI models, right, the neural networks, it's a black box, right? I just give the input, I receive the output, right? I don't know what's happening inside it, why this thing, right? So it is not explainable, right? But that's a huge risk for the organizations, right? If we can't explain a decision, we can't trust it, right? Transparency through explainable AI and human oversight. That's essential to maintain the accountability and confidence with the users, right? So that's one area where a lot of work is happening, how we can make AI explainable so that we can build those trust with the and avoid some of the pitfalls that might have. So with the ethics, moving on. So according to multiple studies, right, organizations that align their AI strategy with ethical principles outperform their peers, right? If you want to buy something, right, there you have two choices. You'll always love to want with an organization which you think is ethical, right? You will always want to put your money into that organization, right? So these are the organizations, ethical organization, which attract better talent, enjoy greater customer loyalty, sustain long-term growth. So if I look at from that angle, from a consultant angle, right? So ethics, therefore, is not just about compliance. It is also about competitiveness, right? It brings you more revenue. It brings you more users, right? It brings you more market share, right? So when I look at some of these reports of India Leadership Council or KPMG report or Google report or PwC report, right? A lot of work on AI is happening on driving the operational efficiency, reducing costs, innovation, uh, enhancing the customer experience, gaining competitive advantage. And then towards the right, you have some of those sectors wherein a lot of AI is, some of them already disrupted, but they will remain disrupted for a little bit of more time, right, in near future. Financial services, 36%. Manufacturing is also was an early adopter. It's continuing, right? Education is something wherein a lot of new things have started happening in terms of inclusivity, right? And special needs. Healthcare, a lot of investment is coming into healthcare, but this is more of a very governed sector, right? So a lot of compliance, a lot of rules, right? So it's a slow adopter, but organization understand that there is a lot of value that can be created in healthcare. Retail and consumer goods, again, a lot of stuff happening there. And I don't think there's any sector at the moment which is left. Yeah, some of these are early adopters, but yeah, a lot of things have started moving in some of these laggard sectors also. Okay, so moving on, AI stack, how we define the overall strategy when from a strategist point of view, when I look at, I need to implement AI into some organization, right? How I look at the stack. It's not just that Chat GPT has been rolled out and tomorrow we start using into Chat GPT in some Fortune 500 organization, right? So they have their own compliance, they have their own internal workflows. So there's a lot of work that need to happen. before it actually gets integrated into the organization. So at top sits the human interface or the UX, wherein the users or the customers interact with the product or the service of the organization. Below that sits the agent orchestration layer, which is more of an AI layer that actually detects what the user wants to do, right? And it then divides into that request into subsequent tasks, which is then moved to a model and reasoning layer that picks up those individual tasks, right? Looks at the data within the storage or the databases or the pipelines of the organization, right? It may require some transaction, some update of the data, some extraction of the data, right? Performs those tasks and then return back the response to the user. However, at the bottom, right, sits the governance and safety. So now this governance and safety is the foundation of this complete stack, right? So trust, and that is what governance and safety builds the trust, right? And it protects every layer, right? When the foundation is weak, the building collapses, right? Similarly, governance and safety, it's like a trust, right? And trust is like a foundation of a skyscraper, right? Invisible but essential, right? So without this, even the tallest tower of innovation will collapse, right? So no organization can sustain without governance, safety, and trust factor, right? So AI must be treated as a production grade stack. So we don't look at it as single model or single plugin. So today, if some agent is released, it's not that it can act as a single plugin and we can integrate it in the organization tomorrow. No, we'll see how safe it is, right? Are there any anomalies? Does it fits into the organization model? Is it providing the right benefits, right? Then only we'll think about including that. So I'll quickly brush it through the framework. I think we have already discussed this in the last slide, right? So fairness and bias detection, continuous monitoring is something once you deploy the model because they are continuously changing, right? You need to continuously monitor them so that they don't drift from their intended purpose. Risk management is something which is a continuous activity. We try to identify and mitigate the potential risk issues that could harm. Then data privacy, protecting the user data is of utmost importance. Then explainability and oversight, right? So what decision was made, why it was made, what was the logic, right? Was there any human intervention, right? A lot of things on those areas. So that constitutes a overall governance framework. So moving forward, road ahead, building AI organization first. I'll just skip it through. So maturity model, right? So when any organization has decided to move into a AI journey, right? How does that path looks like? So we categorize into three major areas where, right? Wherein we pilot and literacy, that is almost an year. And then platformization, that is also around 1 to 2 years. And then the full-fledged scaled AI native operation, that may take somewhere around 2 to 5 years. So when I look at the organizations, right, big organization, Fortune 500 clients, it's a big journey for them, right? So even if we freeze all the technological enhancement or development that has happened, that no further technological advancement or enhancements, we are freezing it today, then also it will take at least 5 to 10 years for the large organizations to adopt the technology that we have available today. That's what, that's, they're sitting on a lot of tech debt. They're sitting on legacy systems, right? They are big elephants. They move slowly. So quickly on piloting and literacy, what we do is we identify small steps where we can start, identify some high value use cases wherein we can make an impact. We run the pilots, build the AI literacy across the team so that AI terms are not alien to them, right? The phase is around awareness and the potential proof of concept. Then comes platformization, right? Wherein we build a scalable infrastructure, right? The AI strategy structure that we referred in the last slide, right? We define that. We set up data pipelines, cloud platforms, monitoring systems, right? All the plumbing that has to happen for AI to take on the jobs, right? And thinking of moving from experiments to a production engine. That's what happened in platformization, and it takes almost 1 to 2 years. Once that has happened, so now AI has now becomes the part of the DNA of the organization, right? Every function, whether it's finance, HR, logistics, operations, everyone starts using AI. They start taking insights from AI to make daily decisions. And the company moves from mobile first or internet first to AI first organization, right? And in order to have a successful AI transformation, it's not just the technology which can transform. There are a lot of other levers in an organization that work in conjunction with the technology, and they all need to be transformed in order to have a successful AI or a digital transformation. First one is people. Build in literacy around AI or the digital stuff that we are transforming to. Hire the right talent, develop people, right? AI product manager, data scientist, AI scientist, ethical leads, data governance teams, like. Then we have processes. So every business at its core is a collection of few business processes, right? How we need to identify them, right? We need to see uh, how we can get a continuous feedback, how we can improve those uh, business processes, right? Then comes platforms and data. Uh, Invest in quality and scalable platforms, right? How you can secure your data. Movement to cloud transformations is another area where it comes into picture. Last is partnership, right? So any organization cannot exist in silos. So we help them partner with academia, different startups, the other organizations for better tools rather than building everything from scratch. There are a lot of tools which are available off the shelf, right? So wherein we help them to build a partnership with different vendors like SAP, Salesforce, Workday, right? Ironclad. Um, so that so that so the so that they don't have to build everything from scratch, right? They can leverage whatever is existingly available in the market. Don't reinvent the wheel, right? So success factors. So again, summarizing whatever I have gone through till now is uh, first is you need to have a clear objective. What do you want to do and why you want to do it? It isn't should be that because AI is available, I should start using it. No, you should have the right business case. And based on the business case, we analyze what is the right way to go with that AI. It's not that just because generative and agentic AI is available, we start using it. Probably my use case could best fit into predictive AI, right? So I go ahead with predictive AI. So it's identify the right problem, right? And then go to the solution, because if you're not able to identify the right problem, you'll not be able to solve it with the best of the technology available. But you will still have options, 10 different options to solve a particular problem, but making sure you're solving the right problem. Then investing into data quality, governance, infrastructure early, building and domains, then feedback loops. Feedback is really important for AI. That's how it learns. So you need to establish that loops, that continuous feedback is coming in and the AI system is learning. And then whatever gets measured gets improved. So you need to have performance matrices in place, which are really making a tangible business impact and delivering the right value. And then establishing the accountability, right? For the people, for the AI systems. So these are some of the key success factors that we go through. The competitive imperative, I've already said AI won't replace people, but people who skillfully use AI will replace those who don't. And this isn't a fear mongering at all. And this is the reality that's unfolding daily. right? So we need to take advantage of these new technologies, right? And start using them, how we can leverage them to take a competitive advantage. I'll just quickly skim through these things because I think we have already covered. Preparing your workforce, how do you prepare it? You assess your current capabilities, where exactly you are, right? So when we analyze any organization, we kind of analyze and rate them on different criteria. One is like, what is their current position, where the market is moving, where the market will be for in next 10 years. What are their competitors doing, right? Where their competitors will be in next 10 years. And then we rate them accordingly, and then we formulate a strategy, right? So usually when any new technology comes, right, as a human intention, so we always overestimate the impact of any new technology in the short term, and we underestimate its impact in the long term. That's what our job is, to flip that, right? That it's okay if there's something new, it's okay for some time to wait and watch, but we need to identify the right time to jump into the bandwagon so that we don't miss out on that long-term impact. Then building AI literacy, we've already discussed that. Then there could be some specialized skills that could be required, like data scientists, machine learning engineers, right? AI product manager, ethics specialists. So these new skills either need to be developed or hired. Then we proactively look at what are the roles that would get impacted, right? And what are some of the new roles that will emerge after the transformation. We try to reskill and upskill people, right? So that they can still keep on working with the organization with dignity and they don't lose the opportunity. And then foster a culture of adaptive mindset and lifelong learning. So AI is a journey. Transformation is a journey. It's not a destination, right? So business environment, people, customers, products will keep on changing, right? They will never reach and stop. So you will always be in a transformation journey, right? Earlier it was internet. So businesses moved from traditional stores to internet. Then came in mobile phones, right? So they moved from web apps to mobile apps. Now AI, right? Tomorrow it will be some other technology, right? So we are in a constant phase of those transformations, and we will remain in that constant phase. So now, coming to this, like empowering the next generation, what I see your role as an academia, right, in AI leadership, right? Because uh, as this brings me to you, right, the faculty, the researchers, the mentors, right? You are shaping the leaders for tomorrow, and you have a critical role in to play in this transformation, right? So how you can transform? So first is more of a modernize the curriculum, ensure that students graduate with both theoretical and practical AI skills, machine learning, data ethics, right? The fundamentals of AI, the applied AI, how it is impacting the different domains, right? Some of the those knowledge areas. Foster research and collaboration, bridge the gap between academia and industry, because a lot of action is happening in the industry right now, right? How the industries are changing, what are the different use cases, how they are exploiting and exploring different technologies. So collaborative research can accelerate innovation and make AI more relevant and help us to solve real world problems. Empower students, mentor them just not to use AI tools, but to question them, how they can improve them and use them responsibly. Then integrate ethics, as I stated, right? Ethic is the base foundation that builds the trust and that helps businesses to remain in business, right? And make profits. So technology without ethics is like power without direction. Instill a deep sense of purpose in every future innovator, right? Why we are doing it and how we are doing it. How much risk are we taking, and are we keeping someone on the risk, right? So the future of AI is shaped by the minds that you are inspiring today, right? Okay, and thank you for nurturing the next generation of AI innovators. You never know, probably, someone, the next chat GPT innovator or something, you don't know, like, all uh, Elon Musk, or, the probably is someone who is sitting into a class, right, and taking a mentorship from you. So path forward is more around, so as I said, we help organizations to move from anxiety to clarity, right? So there are a lot of buzzwords around. So we help them to assess themselves, right? And try to make the path clear for them, how they can start. Then treat AI as a value creation engine, right? AI is not just about cost saving, right? It's a growth engine that learns continuously and amplify human potential. Look at how it can complement you. And last but not least is ensure responsible adoption. It's around balancing the innovation and accountability. Build AI that works for people, not against them, right? And make it fair, transparent, and sustainable. So yeah, so as part of my closing vision, we stand at the threshold of what I call is an intelligence revolution. And the question no longer is whether we want AI will transform the world or not, but it actually has. It has already happened, right? The question is, will we lead that transformation or will we just be a follower, right? What approach would we take? Would we take a leadership approach or would we take a wait and watch approach, right? But as I stated in case of AI, a wait and watch is a risky proposition, right? So the future is not determined. It is shaped by those who dare to imagine it differently, right? So we have the same technology available with all the organization, all the people. It's all about linking to the purpose and what all I can imagine with that technology. It's so powerful, right? So as you go back into your labs, right, or your classrooms, just ask yourself what one seed that you can plant today, right, that can grow into the next AI breakthrough tomorrow, right? Because somewhere in your classroom, right, there might be a student who's sitting and who might create the next GPT, right, next chat GPT, or probably discover something innovative or discover cure for cancer tomorrow, right? Or design the next intelligent system that the world uses, right? But making sure that they all are using AI responsibly, but still boldly, right? So with all, I think these are some of the references that I referred while creating my material. And thank you, everyone, and for your dedication, your commitment, your time, and the way you are helping to shape the future for tomorrow. And that's all I had for today. And feel free to connect with me over the LinkedIn and feel free to reach out. I love doing sessions with academia, with industry. And if you need any help, any support from me, feel free to reach out to me. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Now it's a question and answer round. There's already a question from Dr. Neha Arora. Sir, I'm going to ask a question on her behalf. As you suggested, we should take AI as complementary,
Yeah.
not substitute to human labor.
Yeah.
But don't you think it will increase rich-poor gaps in the economy and there will be reduction in human interaction or personal touch, especially in sectors like education, banking, etc.?
So that's a beautiful question, right? And this is not just about AI, right? If you look at any technological advancements that has happened, right? So with internet, the communication become cheaper and we shifted from physical mails, right? Which used to have a different charm to emails, right? The postal mails to emails with mobile phones, with social media. We now have more friends online rather than offline. We are losing that social connect. And that's the dilemma that we are getting into. And I'll not shy away in admitting that. That's perfectly true. But from an economic angle, if I see, history repeats itself, right? When we look at internet, we had the same apprehensions at that point of time what we have today, right? So when computers were introduced in banking systems, especially in India, right? I can still recall there were strikes, right? People were opposing it that we will lose the jobs, right? There was a lot of hue and cry, right? A computer will take the load of 5 people or 10 people, people will become redundant, right? But now when we, in the hindsight, when we look back, has that happened? No, now the banking industry has exponentially grown, right? Today we have maybe 10x, 20x more people working in banking industry than we had before computers, right? So there is always a dilemma, initial dilemma. But as things unfold, right, as we discover use cases, right, as we adopt, right, there are always new skill set that emerges. I'm not saying it will not displace the jobs, but yeah, there will be a lot of completely new industry that will come up as part of that. It's more around transitioning. Are you rigid or flexible to transition?
Any other query from the participants? Kindly raise your hand if you have any question or query. One more question from Harsh, Professor Harsh. And the question is, what kind of data infrastructure is needed to successfully integrate AI across enterprise functions?
Great. So when I say data infrastructure, right? So it's basically the way you are storing, retrieving the data and protecting your data, right? And as I said, AI is not something that will define how do you store and save data. It's basically your business case that will define. So when I look at examples from banking, right? The way SBI saves its data and extracts its data and protects its data will be way different from how Flipkart or Amazon does, right? So it depends upon use case, right? They might be still be using the same technology, same AI stack, right? So that's what I say. Don't look anything from a technology perspective, understand it from a business perspective, right? What is the use case, right? How the technology can help me in refining, understanding, and solving that use case. There may be 10 different technologies who can help you solve the same problem. But the point here is solving the right problem. So you can use any tech stack, any data stack, right? The way you want to manage it, right? But it should align with your business objectives, business problem. But again, sorry, just to add, with the faster, because AI just needs a faster movement of data. So industries or organizations are moving to a faster stack where more from a SQL to NoSQL, right? Because they are easily scalable and they are faster, right? So we have in the past, I've seen a lot of adoption or migration from SQL to NoSQL databases because they use AI and the extraction of data is faster.
Any other question, please?
Okay.
Sir, I have a question in my mind that we are having a very strict curriculum in our BCA. Is it practically possible to give some about AI? And if we talk about deep learning, it's quite I mean mathematical. It's quite it needs basic information. How we can cope up with these differences in our classrooms?
So I think the harsh reality is, so I will not mince my words, right? So the harsh reality is, yes, we are outdated on curriculum, right? Because until and unless we don't accept it, we'll not change it, right? The first thing to change is accepted that something requires a change, right? But yes, at times we do not have these things in our control, right? So in those cases, I think I usually recommend organizations or academia, right, to take up some of those extra courses, extracurricular activities. And what, in my view, what helps is the interaction with the industry, because that's wherein, students get to see actual use cases, how things are driven, right? What actually works, and that's what motivates them in the right direction, right? Because it's just a difference between the theory and practical, right? So it's very difficult to read a book, but it is very easy, right? And entertaining to see a movie based on that book, right? So that's the difference between when you learn something in a class and when you have an industry session, right? So it creates a lot of difference. And and I've seen a lot of people going back to read a book after seeing watching a movie, right? Because it generates that interest.
Yes.
So yeah, that's a harsh reality.
Thank you so much, sir. Any other question, please?
Okay, I guess we are done for the session then. There are no further questions.
Uh, I think now it's my job. Thank you so much, sir. I would
Thanks a lot
I
for
would
your
like
time,
to,
and it
yeah.
was pleasure interacting with you. And feel free to connect me in case you need any help from my end.
Now a formal thanks. I would like to extend heartfelt thank to Mr. Gaurav Anand for his insightful and thought-provoking session on Beyond Automation, AI as a new growth engine for modern business. He covered the wider landscape of artificial intelligence and its far-reaching implications across industries and society. Discussion on the shift from efficiency to innovation, the economic foundations of AI, its transformative impact across industries, and the ethical and human dimensions of this revolution truly broadened our understanding. Your vision of preparing learners for an AI driven future and leading responsibly with technology has inspired us all. We deeply appreciate your valuable time and enlightening contribution. His expertise and vision are truly inspiring. I would also request Mr. Anand to please share with us a video bite about your feedback of this at FDP to me or to the coordinator after this session. Thank you so much, sir. Before we conclude, I would also like to inform all participants that the feedback form for today's session will be shared in the chat box as well as in the WhatsApp group. It's mandatory for you to fill it and submit positively by today itself. Thank you so much.
Thank
Okay.
you, Gaurav sir. Thank you, Gaurav sir, for sharing such an informative knowledge to all our participants. It's always good to connect with you. And I urge you, whenever you come to the Amritsar, please do visit your own college. You are the proud alumnus of our college. It's always good to see you, whether online or offline.
No, definitely, sir. It will be a pleasure to meet you. And my love for computer started right in DAV College, Amritsar, right? So I had a profound impact of this college on my life. So would definitely love to visit and see you guys. Yeah. With
Thanks a
that,
lot.
yeah,
Thanks a
thanks
lot,
a
Gaurav.
lot and take care and wish you all a very happy and the safe Diwali in advance. Take care. Bye-bye.
So I reciprocate the same to you. Okay, sir. Thanks a lot. So, dear participants, we are going to start the next session in 5 to 7 minutes. After 5 to 7 minutes. I request Didi Kaushal ma'am to play the video.
Good evening, everyone, once again. Myself, Dr. Rama Bhardwaj, Associate Professor, serving as the rapporteur along with our technical coordinator, Professor Nidhi Kaushal, for the 8th session of the day of this ongoing FGP on AI for Atmanirbhar Bharat, empowering innovation, industry, and inclusive growth. It is my privilege to welcome our next distinguished speaker, Dr. Prateek Kumar Bhatia, for the current session, deliberating on AI on education, hands-on demos to transform teaching and learning. Dr. Bhatia is an associate professor in the School of Electrical Engineering and Computer Science at Washington State University, USA. Dr. Bhatia is a renowned researcher and educator, recognized internationally for his contributions to machine learning, explainable AI, and AI for social good. Before joining the Washington State University, he served as a professor and associate dean of student affairs at the Thapa Institute of Engineering and Technology, Patiala, and even had been visiting faculty at Whitman College, USA, and Tel Aviv University, Israel. He holds his PhD in computer science from Thapa Institute itself and a master's from BITS Pilani, along with postdoctoral research at Tel Aviv University. His accolades include the Young Faculty Research Fellowship from the Ministry of Electronics and IT, Government of India, and he has secured over $246,000 in research funding with more than 100 scholarly publications to his credit. Dr. Bhatia is also the Gold Tier NVIDIA Deep Learning Institute campus ambassador and has trained over 500 students worldwide through NVIDIA workshops. His best-selling textbooks include Machine Learning with Python and Data Mining and Data Warehousing, both published by Cambridge University Press, and they are widely used by learners and educators alike. Passionate about accessible education, Dr. Bhatia has reached over 45,000 learners globally through his MOOCs, Udemy courses, and of course his YouTube channel, Prateek Bhatia Simplifying Computer Education. We are truly delighted to have such an inspiring academician and innovator with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me virtually yet warmly in welcoming Dr. Prateek Kumar Bhatia to share his insights with us. I believe, sir, that your insights will truly set the tone for what's next coming up this session. Dear participants, during this session, if anyone has query, please write in the chat box. Your name will be called, or you can even ask at the end, as we will be having a dedicated question and answer session. Welcome, Dr. Bhatia. Over to you, sir, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Rama. I'm audible. So
Yes,
let
sir.
me share my screen. Thank you. Okay, I hope you can see my slides.
Yes, sir.
Thank you everyone for giving me opportunity to talk with so many peoples. Thanks, Professor Vikram, Professor Rama, and all the coordinators of this uh, adult program. I'm going to talk about AI in education. Since we all are faculty members, so it's very important in this modern age that we must make best use of this wonderful set of tools in our day-to-day teaching practices. So the objective of this session to give some demos how we can use various generative AI tools. And I'm going to also discuss and share some of the best practices that we follow here at Washington State University and in US regarding AI in education. So I hope this session will give you some idea that how we can adopt these tech stack in our day-to-day teaching practice. Um, in the end of this session, I have prepared a brief interactive quiz. So uh, it would be fun to have that quiz in the end. I will try to wind up everything within a stimulated time. So let's start our discussion. And as Professor Rama mentioned, if you have any questions, you can keep on writing your questions on the chat box, and we will try to answer those questions in between. And once we cover something, if you have any doubt, even you can unmute and ask the question. Okay, with this, let's start our discussion on using AI in education. So it's very important to understand that why we are now talking too much about using AI. Because AI is considered as a new electricity. It is as powerful invention as electricity is. As you know that electricity has transformed humanity in multiple ways. In the same way, AI is now going to do the same. So when it is affecting each and every area in a mostly positive way. So there are a lot of opportunities in our education domain too. Of course, as a faculty member, as a academicians, a lot of academicians are also concerned with the use of AI in our day-to-day teaching and practices. So the objective of this task is to touch upon on those areas. Since you all are professors, I would be like to take your feedback, and we will be brainstorming together on various aspects of using AI in our day-to-day teaching practices. So, since AI is going to be a new electricity and it is changing each and every field, so it's very important to understand that how we can use AI for teaching and grading to learning and mentoring. So, it can now be enhanced by AI. So, our goal as an educator not to just use AI, but to understand and guide its impact responsibility. So it's very important to understand that how we can make best use of these tool set and how we can train our students on that. There are two kind of people right now. One group of academicians thought that we must not bring too much generative AI into our classrooms because it hinder their creativity, and students go for a lot of cheating and other activities, and they just solve the assignments with ChatGPT and other tools. But there is a other side of this, that since whole industry is using generative AI toolset for building various applications, and they expect that their client must know and use that technology with full potential. So if we don't train our students on using generative AI in an effective way, then we may not train our students for current industrial needs. So it's very important to have a balance, and how we can strike that balance. This session is a lot more about that. So you see that um, I have 25-year academic career plus academic career, and you see that teaching has evolved through those years. We start with using chalk and talk, and then maybe in 2000 computer came up, we start using PowerPoint presentations. But during that time internet was very costly, and we don't have those internet connections in our colleges and in classrooms. But later on internet become very accessible, and we start using internet in our day-to-day college activities. Then you see that there are various Google Classroom or LMS systems that are available. So we start using, putting our presentations, assignments on those LMS system in last maybe 5 or 10 years. And then you see that we have generative AI, which is Gemini, Copilot, ChatGPT. So various tools are now we used for generative AI, and you can see that with each technological evolution, our classes has been changed. And at this stage, it is very important to understand that AI is not here to replace the teacher, it's there to enhance our reach, enhance our delivery practice so that we can improve on those things in our day to day teaching. So you can see that there are various tools which came to us, and I can proudly say that uh, teachers every time come up and they master that tech stack. And I think that now it's the time to master generative AI and its best use in our day-to-day teaching. And there is a very valid quote in this that you are not most probably not going to replace by AI, but most probably you can be replaced by a person who is using AI. So it's very important that we must equip ourselves, we must train ourselves in a way that we must able to use generative AI and practices in our day-to-day classroom activities in an effective way. When we talk about AI in education, I believe that there are three important roles that AI is doing these days. First role is AI as a creative partner. I hope that most of you are already using ChatGPT and other generative AI platform for content generation, for visual learning, for storytelling. We can plan our lectures by having brainstorming with AI as a creative partner. I usually, whenever I train in new courses these days, I rely more on brainstorming with generative AI tool instead of just using those books, because you see that you can get everything at one go, and you can ask uh, generative AI to give a lot of examples, analogy. So it help you to give cover the concept in a lot simplified way in the class. So having brainstorming with generative AI as a creative partner is wonderful experience, and I hope that most of you are already using that utility of generative AI tools. Another important way where we can use AI as a teaching assistant. So you know that teachers are very loaded with a lot of activities, starting from grading, summarizations, generating quizzes, exams. So we can use AI for these kind of activities. I hope you all are using ChatGPT and other tools for generating exams, quizzes, and you have seen that it done wonderful job in those cases. Even nowadays we have AI as a teaching assistant where it can start grading assignments, not only MCQ but also those assignments that require subjectivity and some thinking process in that. So AI teaching assistant is gradually coming into this area, and we were looking for that kind of system from last so many years, that can grading be done by computers. So now we are slowly reaching to a stage where AI as a teaching assistant can do these kind of wonderful activities. And third is AI as a learning companion. It means that students can use AI as a their personalized tutor, and we can go for adaptive tutoring in that particular case. And we can these AI personal tutorials or tutor can create personalized content, and they can give personalized feedback, and these AI system can be considered as their learning companion. So as a student, they can use AI as a learning companion. As a uh, teacher, we can use it as a teaching assistant, and everyone of course can use it as a creative partner for content creation, visual learning, and so on. So it's very important to understand that how we can make best use of these tools and technology in general. So I hope most of you are using laptop and computer. So now it's the time to go do some tool set that are very important, and we can use it for various applications. First of all, let's start with ChatGPT because you all are using it. So I'm directly going to a particular QR code. So here I have prepared a special document for this workshop. You can scan this QR code. It's on your screen. Um, I hope you are using your mobiles. So please bring that and scan this QR code to open this PDF file. And let's go to that file and start browsing its content. Uh, Anyone can respond to me. Are you able to access this PDF file? I'm watching to your chat box. Please respond on that. Once you able to open this PDF file by scanning this QR code. I'm waiting for your responses. You just need to scan this QR code and it will bring a Google Drive file. And yeah. So please take the picture of this if you wish. Just give me a minute. Yeah. So please take the picture so that you can do this. In the meanwhile, I will open this file for discussion so that you can do the activity side by side. Okay, so let's close this. Just give me a minute. So if you open this, this is the file. This is empowering educators with Gen AI, revolutionize teaching, assessment, engagement, and research. So in this workshop manual, what we are going to discuss that how we can use ChatGPT or other Gen AI tools to perform these day-to-day activities, which as a professor we usually perform, and we have put various prompts that are very helpful to do these activities quickly and easily. So you can see that in this we have multiple sections, and each section is for help us to do those activities, starting from creating quiz and exam, email framing and communications, research support applications, creating online tutorials or courses. We also going to discuss ethical use of AI in academia, and based on that, this particular document carrying all the details. So in the beginning, it's very important to understand that when you use ChatGPT or any other generative AI tools, if we assign the role to our Gen AI platform, then the outcome would be much better as compared to if we simply give a prompt without assigning the role. So, for example, if you say that in the beginning, if you say that act like a university professor who is specialized in DBMS for undergrad students, so you will see that the output of then after giving that particular role, the output would be much better on particular topic as compared to general response that we get from ChatGPT and other tools. Similarly, sometime you are acting as a, let's say, professor who are going to guide the students to write a research paper. So you can give appropriate prompt or rules so that it can modify their outcome in that particular tone and style. So you can perform various rules and it can give their responses accordingly. For example, if you are acting as a head of department, so you can give a response, first prompt that act as the head of department for computer science for a university or a college, and then you will see that the tone of the output generated would be different as compared to if you simply get or try to get the response. If you are acting as a dean or a principal or a director, you can specify that role as a first prompt, and then you can start communicating with ChatGPT, and you will see that the output would be much different, or in other words, it would be much better as compared if you directly go with without response. So you see that here we have ChatGPT, we can experiment side by side. So you can first, whenever you start a ChatGPT session, it would be great if you assign the role so that your uh, Gen AI tool know that, okay, I have to act like a professor who is teaching DBMS. So it will tailor the response accordingly, and it can generate more targeted and better responses. So this is our first section all about. I just quickly give overview what we are having in this. The next section is about quiz and exam preparation. You see that this is a very common activity that we perform on daily basis. And normally we struggle to get some good questions for our classes because we rely on textbooks, and textbooks sometimes have limited options, and we already exhausted those things. And here you see that we can create, give multiple prompts for our creating questions. For example, here you can see that we can specify that create 3 easy, medium, or hard questions and include correct answers. The idea to give all these prompts to you is that you can simply copy and paste that on the chat gpt or other tool, and you can simply see how capable it is, and it can give you all the questions. So here we specified clearly that we require 3 easy, medium, and hard questions. And you can see that the complexity is growing accordingly, and you can get multiple questions on any topic along with the answers. Of course, it's important to check the responses because it can be sometime hallucinating, but most of the time you will find that the answer are very accurate, and you can rely on those outcomes. So here we have created all the prompts which you can directly use for application oriented questions, true false questions, long answer type questions, and even you can ask sometime write a case study based question on project management in software development. So this is very wonderful because nowadays there is a huge demand that we must not only ask what and why kind of questions. The questions must be based on critical thinking and case study based questions. So you can easily create these kind of questions by using chat gpt, and you can see that this is the case study which is created for project management. And first of all, it provides some basic description, then it give you question prompt, and also it provides suggested answer, and you can dig more deep according to the topic you want to cover. And you can see that all of these questions are some critical thinking question, and it help you to frame those questions in a better way. I hope you all are using about Bloom taxonomy. You know that whenever we go for NAC or NBA, there is a complete guideline that we must follow Bloom taxonomy in our exams. And sometimes we struggle how we can get questions that refer to Bloom taxonomy. So even you can create these kind of questions by using Bloom taxonomy and giving appropriate prompt on that. So it Bloom taxonomy normally refers to some questions regarding understanding, applications, analysis. So you can directly create these kind of questions by using these appropriate prompts, and you can see that the outcome would be very different, and you will able to get very creative questions based on this. So here we just tried about analysis based question on market segmentation, and you can see that it automatically created those kind of questions which can satisfy those requirements. The second part is about email framing and communication. You know that we require or perform various roles, and since you are already conducting some invited talks, sometimes you conduct some workshop conferences. So you can simply use these kind of prompts to create formal emails communications. For example, invite data science expert to speak on this topic, or invite a friend who will going to talk on this particular topic. So you can create these kind of supportive emails and responses to the students based on some kind of problem. So this is very common here. Normally our student ask for some kind of extensions of the assignment due to personal health issues. So normally due to time constraint, we can simply respond with only one word or two word or very brief response. Let's say some student drop an email to me that, okay, I have health issues and I want an extension. I can simply say, okay, you can get 1 day extension. But you see that if we just spend little time with chat gpt and just paste that prompt, and this prompt say that respond to a student asking for extension due to personal health issue. So you see that the kind of response this language models are generating. So instead of just saying that, okay, you can take 1 more day, it is generating very compassionate email. Thank for reaching out, letting me know about your situation. I'm sorry to hear that you are dealing with health issues, and I hope you are feeling soon better, and your well-being come first. So I need understand that you need some flexibility, so you get extension up to this work. And if you need some additional support, I'm here to you take care about yourself and focus on your recovery. So you can see that the kind of depth this email is generating. So as a professor, you can see that if you simply write one word that, okay, you can get 1 day, or instead of that, if we can took little bit more time and do some kind of brainstorming with chat gpt, or try to get some response and modify on that. So you can see that it make a lot of difference the way we communicate with our students. So this is very important to explore these kind of options that we nowadays has to respond to student queries and to queries of our colleague. So here I just put all those prompts. For example, now Professor Vikram is conducting this workshop, so he must need to send these kind of emails to attend that session. So here we have a prompt that invite faculty member to this workshop on this date. So it can generate friendly reminders, or it can simply create various emails that you can directly send to your colleagues. So there are some prompts for workshop calls, some prompt for conferences, and so on. So you can use those examples and try these on your own uh, based on your requirement. So third is about research support and application. If you have any questions, please keep on asking by writing questions over this chat box, and we will answer those queries too. So I know that most of you are doing now maybe PhD or already guiding some students for research projects. So we can use these tools for get quick research support applications. So for example, you can simply ask ChatGPT or other tool to summarize the paper, or to extract key points, or to compare various research papers with one another, and it can give you all those details quickly. So this thing I like most, getting research topics. So for example, a lot of time student came to us and asked for a good project on particular topic. And normally we struggle with some ideas. We only have 2 or 3 ideas, and then we say that, yeah, these are the things which you can explore. But if you just spend few minutes with brainstorming with these tools, you can guide your students in much better way. For example, let's say one student came to you and asked you to give some project topic on machine learning for sustainable agriculture. You may have only 1 or 2 ideas right now, but if you get an opportunity and just uh, ask these things to chat gpt, and you will see that the response would be quite different. So here it give me in the one go 9 potential research projects, and you can see that all the projects are very relevant, and it give you enough idea to pick on particular project. You can select one project and then you can dig further deep on more on that. For example, let's say we thought this particular kind of project, so you can simply ask to give more details on a particular project, and it will provide you more details how you can implement that. And you can see that it is now going into the thinking mode so that it can provide you better outputs for AI driven climate resilience market for sustainable crop planning. So my idea is that you can uh, go in more detail, and it can build a full, you can say, problem statements, scope, and everything which is required to implement these kind of project. Even you can ask about what data set you can use. So I like this option very much, because sometimes we have not too much idea about the availability of data sets. So most of the time you got some very good idea about the data set which it can provide, and it can give you some links. So for example, you are looking for this kind of database, so you can say give links for these databases, and it can provide you some direct links to access these databases. So this is wonderful, and you can see that all of these links are valid, and you can explore more on these data sets. You can see that this is the data set for download. So otherwise it's very tough for me to remember or guide students on these projects. But yeah, if you have this resource, simply go and access various data sets which are publicly available, and most of the time you will see that this is doing wonderful job to give some recommendation about the possibility of using databases and all those things. So yeah. So there is one question that how ethical is to use for research purpose content validation. Yeah, so you see that there is no harm in using these kind of things for brainstorming. This is completely ethical. We already using browsers or Google to get some idea about the research paper. You can think of that when we don't have Google, we only have some those journals in our library. And when Google came, people say that is this ethical to just go and ask Google to give some paper and blogs and websites? But norm then it become a norm, and everyone is agreeing on that. Similarly, now we have some better tool set which can give you direct data sets, links, and everything in a one go. Of course, there are some recommendation how we must use it when we it's came to writing work. I will discuss those things later about the best practices to use a generative AI platform for writing purpose. But yeah, it's completely ethical to brainstorm, and it is recommended to use generative AI for brainstorming your project, for brainstorming what are the data sets and options you have as a researcher, and it improve your productivity a lot. So um, but of course, it is not recommended to just ask ChatGPT to write a paper for you and then go with that. Of course, we can use that ChatGPT or other tools for refinement of our paper. So I will be covering that in coming minutes. But yeah, sometime you see that it's very common practice that once you write a research paper, you got some response from the reviewer, and then you have to respond to their reviewer query. So you can simply ask ChatGPT that, okay, write an email to reviewer who thank, and then it asks the right detailed response. Even you can brainstorm that what responses you can give for particular comment. For example, you can say that, okay, write a rebuttal for reviewer comment on specific section, and emphasize that the clarification that you have added those points. So there are a lot of prompts that you can use and for doing day-to-day research activities, and also writing formal emails which are related with your research task which you perform on daily basis. Then we can also use AI for creating online courses, tutorials. So you see that you can give any complex topic and it can decode it in a very simple way. For example, you can ask to create a step-by-step tutorial on quantum computing, and it can provide you those kind of things. So I use that option a lot when I prepare my lectures. It helped me to create some good content. And let me show you one example tutorial for quantum computing. So quantum computing is considered to be a very complex topic, and now we are saying that create a step-by-step tutorial for quantum computing, and you can simply mention that, let's say, for high school student, or you can say that in simple words, so that everyone can understand. So these type of keywords are very important, and it gives some analogy. So it help you to get some good examples to discuss those in the classroom setting. And so there is again another question: content or data taken from this, or when you summarize your own data, this. Yeah, so of course, if you write and summarize this in your own word after getting the brainstorming ideas, it's completely fine. As I already mentioned, it is strongly recommended to refine those findings. You can't simply copy paste it. But here, what I'm saying that uh, as a teacher, we normally struggle or always look for some good examples or some brainstorming ideas that, okay, what topic I should work or what methodology I should follow to solve that work. So these type of things are very important, and you can use these kind of work with ChatGPT, and it can help you to provide those responses quickly. So you can see that here it provides quick intro about quantum. So you can see that normally we have bits 0 and 1, and but here in quantum world, electron can be in two states at once, kind of like two places at the same time. This is called as superposition. So you can see that the type of analogy it is giving to me: when you have head or tail, you know its value, but when it is spinning, it is both head and tail at once, and that is called as superposition. So you can see that I always ask ChatGPT to give me analogy that I can use in my day-to-day classroom teaching. And this is quantum bit. Quantum bit is instead of 0 and 1, it is a mixture of both. So here you can see the examples. Normally we have these as a bit at a time, but in 2 qubit, it can exist all four combination at once, like a parallel universe of information. So you see that all the examples are so simple with proper analogy. You see that if you open your box, find left glove, and then mysterious connection with the entanglement. So you see everything is given with the analogy and all some reference material. So this is wonderful to prepare your lecture and brainstorm with these kind of tools. So and of course nowadays I usually record a lot of lectures, and sometimes we struggle to get a good script for those things. So now you can easily ask that, okay, suggest me some script to record that lecture, or it can give you a step-by-step idea that what is the best practice that you can follow to record some lecture on particular topic. So just explore these notebook and experiment this on your own, and see that it making a lot of improvements in the final outcome. Okay, so you have a lot of questions now on ethical use of AI in academia. So let's quickly discuss that before moving to some other topic. So, first of all, it's very important that we must verify all the generated content for the accuracy, because whenever you are going to present something in your class, that content may be AI generated, but you are responsible for the correctness of the content. So, just having little verification by maybe going to multiple websites or checking it with multiple LLM is a good option. So, always treat AI generated content as a draft, which requires some verification and refinement before use. So, don't just go with the first iteration. Please prepare some time on that. And this is very important. And we are encouraging here to all our students that if you use AI to solve the problems, it's very important to cite that. For example, this paragraph was generated with the chat GPT, or this text has been refined by using generative AI tools. So when you cite it, it is considered as a um, good practice. And normally, we always suggest first come up with your own thought, and then you can use AI to build more on that for refinement. And then once you get that particular response, then you can say further on that. For example, first situation must be student write draft on your own, but it's okay to struggle with grammar and flow, and then you can use ChatGPT to improve it further. And then after this, you can always encourage to further personalize the text or reflect their own understanding and give your own voice. So it's very important to use AI as a collaborative partner, so that you can ensure originality. And after all, once you get the response, it's very important to refine it further. So this is the recommendation flow which I always recommend everyone to go with, and it's work perfectly fine. Start with your own rough draft, having your own ideas, having your own originality, instead of directly going with the initial draft from ChatGPT. It's very important to start with own original thought, and then use AI to improve for clarity and structure. And of course, it's always encouraged when you submit final version, it must be modified by a student. And then you must cite AI assistant in assignment or whatever way you are creating it. So you can specify that here you have used this chat GPT for clarity and grammar accuracy. It's suggestion that if you are there are some fact checks and some important tools, you just make it confirm they are accurate, particularly if you are dealing with some references and so on. So it's very important. So here, about use AI for technical writing in research paper. So it must be your first original draft, but yeah, you can improve the clarity, technical depth along with the writing standards. So let's say this is your first draft, then you can use AI to enhance the clarity and then personalize and review for accuracy, and then you can get your own final revised version. So it's more about doing refinement and doing some kind of brainstorming with AI and then citing it appropriately if it is required. Yeah. So, for example, this particular document I have created by brainstorming with generative AI for a couple of days, and then I come up with final document. So here you see that even for this document, we have put disclaimer that the content of this report was generated with the assistant of generative AI tool like ChatGPT to ensure relevance and create clarity. All AI generated content has been reviewed and refined by the author to maintain accuracy and alignment with the intended purpose. So this particular kind of acknowledgement reflects about ethical and responsible use of AI in education, research, and so on. So it's very important to, whenever you prepare some reports, you can have that kind of disclaimer that yes, you have used it for refinement, clarity, and purpose. So, um, any questions on this? So you can unmute if you have some specific question directly at this point. Otherwise, you can type on the chat bot, because now I'm shifting to some other discussion. Yeah, please. I'm waiting for your questions. It's very important. You all are professors, you have your own um, ideas, reflections. So please take time to reflect on that. And if something is coming to your mind, please feel free to um, discuss those. Yeah. Okay.
So
So
anybody wants?
now, yeah, please.
Yes, we can have the question answer session afterwards.
Okay, good.
Thank
So now I quickly want to give some practical examples that we are using here in our university and here in US. We all are following this practice. I hope it can be easily replicated in our universities back at India too. So at our university, it's mandatory actually for each of the professor or course coordinator to mention AI policy and disclosure practices in our LMS, because here we use for all the courses we use Canvas as a LMS. We put everything on that in our syllabi page, and it's important for each faculty member, or it's mandatory for each faculty member to clearly state AI policy for this course. So here it's very important to understand how we write AI policy and what is the AI policy currently I am adopting. I'm teaching software engineering course right now in my university. That is, you can say that it is a third year course, and another is a capstone project, that is a final year project, that is full 1 year academic activities spanning across 2 semesters. So you see that I'm already teaching third year and final year students, and I believe that it's completely fine if they use AI for in a responsible way. So I frame my course policy. This is directly I copied it from my current AI course policy. So you see that this is the policy that I am following right now. That generative AI tool like ChatGPT Copilot, because students are using Copilot to generate the code, may be used in this course only under specific conditions, which we have clearly laid down. And if you violate anything, it is would be considered as academic integrity violations. So we clearly specify what is allowed, but with disclosure. So student can use generative AI, but with disclosure. So as I mentioned, it's completely fine to brainstorm ideas. It's completely fine to outline their project activities, to think about what methodology they should follow, or it's completely fine to refine their draft by using ChatGPT or other tools. It's completely fine for me to generate non-graded practice question or debugging question. They can create question, they can practice that. So actually, I encourage that. They can use Copilot or other coding assistant tools, but they must specifically specify that how it improved provided contributions are explicitly documented. They have to document that, okay, I have used ChatGPT for this purpose, and they have to mention and explicitly documented that during the submissions. So this is allowed with disclosure. But there are something another important point is some assignment will clearly state that AI use is allowed. For example, in my assignment, sometime I specify that, okay, now you first do this on your own, then do the same task with the help of generative AI, and then reflect on your experience with generative AI. So if assignment does not mention any AI use, assume that AI is not allowed. So I created assignment in two ways. In some of the assignment, AI use is allowed, where I want them to explore and brainstorm more deeply. But there are some other assignments where it is clearly mentioned that you are not supposed to use it. So required disclosure, any AI use must acknowledge directly in the submission that you use ChatGPT to brainstorm this point, or you use Copilot for initial loop structure, or let's say initial methodology. And we have sprint submissions. So in your project work, you must include a dedicated section nowadays that if you have used AI, how you used AI. So it must be important to write that whenever you do some submissions for sprint work. Not allowed. So this is important. Submitting AI generated code, text, or design as your own without disclosure. It is not allowed. So you have to disclose that what code you have generated. Use AI to complete graded work when no explicitly permitted. So if in the assignment we mention that AI is not allowed, or it is not specified that AI is allowed, so then you are not supposed to use it. So if you use it, it is considered as a unethical practice, and any undisclosed use of AI will be considered as a violation of academic integrity. So you cannot just submit the code, but if you are using code, you must able to comprehend that, you must able to reflect on that, you must able to run test cases on that, and then you must mention that in your work. So here, to make the things a lot more clear, I have prepared some examples. So this is one of the assignment that which I captured from my course, which you, I hope it will help us to understand the things in a much better way what I'm talking. So as I mentioned, I'm teaching software engineering, and you see that in software engineering we have functional requirements, writing user stories. So this is the assignment on that. So you see student has to write functional non-functional requirement and write some acceptance scenarios in the Gherkin syntax. So you see that brainstorm with as a team and with the generative AI tool, and then refine your results. So here I'm clearly specifying that the use of generative AI tool is allowed. So how it is allowed, it is completely mentioned. So in your submission, you must first do this, uh, identify 8 or 10 functional requirement for your project, write each requirement in a clear way, give some examples how I am expecting you to write functional requirement. Then I'm saying write non-functional requirement and give some examples how to write those non-functional requirements, so that student has clarity what is expected from them. And then we have user stories. So we follow user stories architecture. So here we given them examples that what is the best way to write user stories. If someone can remove those lines from the screen, it would be nice from admin part. Then we can have this Gherkin based scenarios with all the examples. And you see that here, I want to focus more on that part. So first 4 section is supposed to be run by students on their own. But in the 5th section, you see we are clearly specifying brainstorming and Gen AI reflections. So here, what is required that you can use Gen AI assistant brainstorming. Here we are recommending them to use that tool and to brainstorm some additional requirements. So give your initial requirements to system and try to see that is ChatGPT suggesting some few more points which you missed. So here compare your results with step A. Step A is the results that student has write on their own. Now we are asking them to compare their writing with the AI. So here we are asking them specific question: did AI reveal some scenarios that you missed? Did AI improve your clarity or coverage? So student need to reflect on that point. And then we are saying that, okay, now it's time to refine. Update your step A documentation with the insights from AI. So first they write on their own, then we ask them to go to Gen AI, then we are asking them to improve your initial documents with the insights, and then clearly mark new or modified item that, okay, I have added this functional requirement after generative AI. So 5 functional requirement was added by the student, but 6th, 7th, let's say added by discussion or brainstorming with Gen AI. So student need to specify that. And then you see that section D is very important. Here we have a reflection. So we are asking the student to answer these questions. How did you feel about Gen AI in this exercise? Are you feel it is empowering or surprising, confusing, or over reliant? In what ways did Gen AI change or improve your brainstorm compared to your original teamwork? So they need to clearly write whether it helped them to improve clarity, creativity, or coverage. Did Gen AI help you to uncover some new functional, non-functional, or business requirement? If yes, provide some examples. What are your thoughts on responsible use of Gen AI in software engineering practice, and how you might apply what you learned from this exercise in future software project? So you see, this is very important that we are here giving the mixture that, okay, let's do first task on your own, then have your own version, then go with Gen AI and improve, and then reflect on that. So it's very important to accept that students are already using it. So if you accept that students is already using it, then we can start thinking that, okay, if they are already using it, how we can uh, motivate them for move towards the best practices. So acceptance is first of all very important, I believe. And once you accept the truth, then you can think how you can improve and make your teaching more relevant these days, because industries are asking the students to use Gen AI. For example, when they go in the industry and they're supposed to write a report, they assume that student or their employer must use these tools to come up with the report, which must look very elegant and professional. If students say that, oh, I have written my own, I have not used Gen AI, but it is not professional at all, the company will not like that outcome. So it's very important that our students must know the best practices. And you see that here we put a lot of effort in creating the template so that student have clear idea what is expected for this assignment. So we are providing them the submission template by providing enough details that this is how I am expecting their submission. First, functional requirements, all those things. Then section 5 particularly about brainstorming. So they clearly need to mention AI suggestion summary, refined requirements, and then reflections, so they can submit this. And then we provide the rubrics for each and every section. So this is the practice that we follow. Whenever you write assignment, you have to provide the students that how that particular work is going to evaluate, so that they know how their marks are going to be deducted. And you can see that each and everything is provided in a quite detail, that functional requirement will carry 2 points, and this is the criteria that I'm going to use to evaluate that. And this brainstorming has their own points. And you can see that this is the way we are framing those assignments so that we can cover everything in detail as per requirements. If you have any question on this, you can use chat box. Yeah, I'm fine if you want to ask question right now even, because otherwise we may miss those points later, because sometime it just get out of our mind.
So there are two questions in the chat box. One is by Dr. Abhijit Das. He wants to ask, can we use AI for analysis?
Thank you,
Yes.
thank you. I got it. So I'm reading it. Can we use AI for analysis and research? So of course we can use, but it must be cited, or it must be reframed, or it must be put within your thoughts after getting idea. So you see that brainstorming is completely fine. Rephrasing my research article using ChatGPT, and then whether it is considered as plagiarism. So of course, it must not considered as a plagiarism if you refine your content, but try to give a prompt also like that. When you give a prompt, that you can give a prompt also that reframe this in a way that it must not look like AI generated content. So it can help you to rephrase your things in a better way. So it's more about how you use your prompt engineering, the best way to rewrite AI generated content, human touch, rephrasing, reframing. Yeah. So the point is that we always use it for brainstorming. And the important point is that whenever you use it, just always refine your outcome with your final thought, so that in the end it must carry your tone, it must carry your own processes, and it must carry your own writing style. So that is most important thing which I want to emphasize at this point. So uh, I will take your questions maybe more later. If you have any questions specific to
One
this
question
assignment that I
from
am showing
Dr.
right now.
Neha Arora. Prateek sir, one question is from Neha Arora. I'm unmuting her.
Sir,
Yeah,
actually,
please.
my question is, hello,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ma'am,
am I
you're
please
audible?
go ahead.
audible.
Yes.
Okay, sir. My question is related to research. Suppose I have my own data or tables. I just want to do mathematical operations on it, like growth rate, something else. Even then, it will come under plagiarism, or it will short source authors' calculations, my own calculations.
Yeah, of course. So it all depend on you how you use final outcome results. So if you use only for brainstorming or getting some calculation and then put those calculations or results in your own words, then I believe it is completely fine. So it's a gray area, and it simply depends how you finally come up with the your overall outcome, and then you can support those things. So there are some writing styles and words that those generative AI tools commonly use. So you must try to avoid those kind of things. But the overall idea is that it's completely fine to do brainstorming, get some results, and then refine it according to your own style. Okay, so before moving next, I quickly want to give you another example for assignment on software engineering again, where we are encouraging the student to use generative AI for refinement. So you see that we are asking the student to design class diagram, sequence diagram, and then they are encouraged to use generative AI, and where they need to design, compare their AI design with the AI generated version, analyze the difference, and they can improve their work accordingly. So you can see that in the same way we have asked generative AI reflections. So run your system descriptions to tool and compare your outcome and update your design. And then there are some reflections they can make. So we provided enough details so that they can think and create um, reflections on that. So the idea is complete initial diagram on their own, then they provide same description to Gen AI tool, and then compare your design with AI output. And you can think of what is the difference, what is the missing or extra element, how AI improve your own work. And then there are some reflections that student need to do. So here what my focus is that you must think on that. Is it possible in your own settings to first of all accept and start healthy discussion on generative AI in our classes? That is the most important things. That is more important for each one of us as an instructor, because you see that there is a one quote ki एक तरीका है कि जब कबूतर है, जब उसको पता चलता है बिल्ली आती है, तो ही जस्ट क्लोज हिज आईज, आंखें बंद कर लेता है और उसको लगता है सब ठीक है. So we can follow that approach कि हाँ लो बच्चे जन use कर रहे हैं, but we keep on closing our eyes and we don't discuss that in our classes and don't uh, bring this to in our day-to-day teaching. And another approach is that accept that reality and then start thinking that how I can bring best of both the worlds. So the idea of this point is that it's important to accept the reality, start discussing, because now in US, in all the universities, we have clear policy that yes, it's completely fine to use those things, and you must start discussing and encouraging the students so that they must be enough equipped to work on those kind of things. Okay, so we have 8:30. So we have 30 minutes, I believe, remaining. Okay, so quickly discuss few more tools which are important for as an educator to know. Um, there is a tool called as Khanmigo. Have anyone used this tool? So Khanmigo is a first AI-powered virtual tutor and classroom assistant, which is developed by Khan Academy. I hope you all know Khan Academy. they come up with their own tool called as Khanmigo. And Khanmigo is based on OpenAI GPT models, but that is specially designed for educational purpose. So the idea is that if student is using Khanmigo chat, that Khanmigo will not give direct answer to the question. It will ask the student to solve the question on their own, and it just try to help the student as teacher usually do. For example, you have a question like, what is 2x plus 3 equal to 7? Solve the value of x. It will not give direct answer. It will start brainstorming with you and try to give some recommendation that how you can solve it. So let's jump and see how this look like. So I have opened this. No. Yeah. So this is Khanmingo. And you see that this is the Khanmingo, that what I am saying. It has a interface as a teacher, as a parent, or as a student. So here, as a parent, I have taken this subscription. It is just $4 a month because it requires them to use ChatGPT and all those things. But there are few things which are free. You can also use this for teacher, and you can give access to your child through this, so your own child can access that. So as a parent, this is also a wonderful tool to explore. I strongly recommend each one of you to just explore this as a parent at least, or as a teacher. And you can see that as a teacher, it has given you multiple tools that you can use to generate these kind of things. So it can generate learning objective for your class. It can generate lesson plan. It can write letter of recommendation, multiple choice quiz, question generator, refresh my knowledge. Even if you are going to teach some subject, you can even ask, okay, refresh my knowledge on that particular topic. We have something text rewriter and chat. So it can create a lesson plan on any topic. You can use let's say computer, and let's say I want to discuss what are the type of computers. So you can say that, okay, it will generate full lesson plan. Let's suppose you are planning to cover type of computers in your classes, and it give you good idea that how you must conduct this lecture in your class. And it provide all the teacher resources by generating responses which is actually targeted for that session. Let's see the outcome that this generate. So lesson plan, it first of all write learning objective, learning activities, display with this question, and then it you can ask direct instructions and guided practices. Here are two possible activities that you can conduct in your class, and then their independent practice, direct student to compare this on this. And then these are some teacher resources for advanced learner. These are some of the questions for some deeper analysis, some definitions, some extensions, some articles on that, and required material. And also it give you lesson summary that how you must plan your lecture so that you can cover all those things successfully in the class. So wonderful tool, and it's specially designed for you see for teachers and parents. And I strongly recommend you to watch, and you can even add your son into that, and or your kids into that, and then you can see their progress also. And you can use multiple options that is specially designed for this. Actually, this resource is for schools, so you can select the grade level, but it has a lot of computer content also, and it will generate the questions accordingly based on your choices, what kind of choices you want, what is the level of complexity, how many questions you want. So this is very good resource. Just explore that on your own whenever you get time, and it is used a lot here in uh, doing those activities. Another tool I want to show you is Science Space. You have a lot of questions on using it for research. So please explore this tool, Science Space. So you see, this is AI assistant to automate everyday research task, and it can write a lot of analyze data, you can find grants, it can do review literatures, it can even create your latest manuscript, presentations, and so on. It can create posters. So just do that. And you can say do a specific literature review on, let's say, agentic AI, and include paper that are in 2020 to 2025. So actually, I already used it, I think. So you can try this and it will generate very good report for you. I hope I will open some of my earlier work. Okay. There is another tool that is alicit.com, and that is also you can use for doing some kind of work, and it can perform systematic review, it can create research report, and you can ask a research question and it will provide a report on particular topic. So let's say you ask for this and it took time and it provide a very good final research report on a given topic. So you see that it provided abstracts, methods, and you can explore those things. So it's good to get ideas. Of course, I'm not saying that just copied it, but you can prepare um, your methodology by using this style: paper identified, and paper uploaded, and how many paper we reviewed, and how many paper are extracted. So paper search, screening, data extractions. So just explore these tools on your own. And this is all the tools are provided on your presentation, so you can explore that later. Of course, uh, professor will share the presentation with all of you, and these are some of the earlier work which I have generated. Um, so we covered that. And let's go back. So for research purpose, you can see we have a tool like so I'm going to give you now the list of tools. So Khanmingo, I just demonstrated it. Please use this whenever you get time. Science Space, SCI Space. So actually, it's more on SCI papers. You can see it has a lot of options: literature review, chat with PDF, AI writer, and so on. Elicit.com, this is for AI research assistant. Then you have Perplexity. I hope you already using that. They also come up with their own, you can say, um browser, Comet, which is now making a lot of news. So it's worth to try it. So Perplexity, which can give a lot of citations whenever you write some text. ChatGPT is not good in that. So if you write some literature review with Perplexity, it gives you much better output as compared to other tools. If you want to use text to speech, you can directly use this tool, and it can create very good text to speech demos, and you can create online tutorials by using that. You just need to uh, write your text, it will generate audio file, and you can download that audio file, and you can use those audio files in your maybe college presentations, or as we are now making a lot of videos for our on workshops and everything. So this is worth to try. So go chat gpt and ask that, we are conducting Atal Atam Nirbhar Bharat AI work, Atal program. So create a script for 1 minute for a video. It will create the script. You can use this tool to convert that script to audio, and then you can use this in your material. So this is very good pipeline that you can try, and it's worth to explore. Paperpal is another tool that you can try, and it will give you lot more features, chat with PDF, AI writing, and so on. Whenever you write some research paper, and we finally struggle to get some good journals that maybe good for my paper, because sometimes you communicate the paper and you got that, oh, this is out of scope. So to avoid that, you can simply match my abstract. So you can put your abstract here and connect find journal. So it will automatically suggest some of the journals from elsewhere that is suitable for your paper or for your abstract that you have submitted. So this is very good resource to find appropriate journals for your work. Similarly, you see Springer also have their own journal finders where you can upload your title, abstract, and keyword, and it will give you all the journals which is required for that activity. So I already discussed my AI policy, and we already shared with you about a PDF files which carry all the prompts which are useful. So now we have, before this closing, we have approximately 15 minutes. So as I mentioned, I have prepared a quiz for you people that would be fun. We will be doing that in our last 5 minutes. But before closing, I want to discuss a general conclusion about what point we have discussed and how personally I take this. So let's start with this picture. So you see, this is a picture. We are going to now discuss, is it cheating or learning if we use generative AI, or if our student use generative AI? So how we can take it? This is the picture of pole vaulting game 100 years ago from the Olympics. This is the real picture, and you see that 100 years ago the best record in the Olympic was 4.21 meter. And nowadays, this is the current record for the same pole vaulting game. And now the record is 6.25 meter. 100 years ago, it was 4.21 meter. After 100 years, the record is now 6.25 meter. And if you see the improvement, it is 48% improvement in the last 100 years. No other game or no human capacity has improved 48% in last 100 years. If you see the record of 100-meter race, improvement in 100 in last 100 year, it would be just few percentage, 5% or 7%, less than 10%. But here you see the improvement is 48%. What do you think? What is the reason? Is the reason is the human capacity, or is the reason uh, of the technology that goes in this game? Of course, the reason is the technology. You see, 100 years ago, we were using the pole, which are not that flexible, and it does not give so much jump to the athletes. But nowadays, we have very flexible pole, and they give enough jump to athletes, and that is their major reason for the improvement. 100 years ago, when the athlete come back on earth, so they just dropped on soil or with some little sand. But nowadays we have cushion on which the athlete just land after making a jump of 6.25 meter. So it's all about the external support that we have added in terms of the cushion on which the athlete is landing after completing it, and also there is an improvement in the pole vault, and ultimately it results improvement in the height we able to achieve 4.21 meter to 6.25 meter. Now, is it a cheating to use better poles or to use cushion? Earlier, people skeptical about it, and some of the people say that no, this is not a good practice. But overall, humanity think that our objective is to achieve excellence, to raise, to get more and more height. So if with the support of technology we can improve, so everyone agree and everyone is now comfortable with that, and you see we all adapted to that kind of things. So if the objective is to improve our productivity, our excellence, it's completely fine to use and adapt technology. You see that in cricket, you see that in all other games. So we are completely fine when it's about improving our performance and efficiency. And we able to achieve 48% improvement is that. But now the question is whether it is considered as cheating or learning, or can it just other way around. So let's see, it's very important to understand the whole situation. So let's see, there is a coach and he is asking the athlete to complete 400-meter track race. Now, there are two situations. One is running it on their own and complete that task is 20 minutes. But there is another person who use technology to improve and make the thing fast and complete that in just 10 minutes instead of 20 minutes. So can we consider this as an improvement? Of course, we cannot, because here athlete bypass the core purpose of exercise preparation through effort and discipline. So we have to find out the balance, that if you are bypassing the core purpose or preparation, then it is not allowed. But otherwise, it is completely fine in this situation. So, but it is not fine in this situation. So we have to find out the balance. It must not bypass your preparation, it must not bypass your effort, but overall, if it improve your efficiency, it's completely fine. We have seen multiple examples in our education also. You see, in primary school, we don't allow students to use calculator. We ask them to do all, you say, multiplication, division on their hand. But once they reach in the high school or in the university, we don't demand the student to solve tables on their own. We are completely fine with the use of calculator because our objective is to solve more complex problem by using calculator. And here calculator is completely fine because it is improving and student is applying that skills after understanding the basics to solve complex problem. So same is not true for our Gen AI perspective. So it's very important that student first learn the basics, right? Critical thinking, problem solving skills. But once student learn the basics, it's completely fine if he apply those basics to improve or solve complex problem. So if student learn programming in first year, data structure in second year, but once the student reach in the third year, it's, I believe, completely fine to build on those fundamentals and start solving complex problem. So when in final year students build the project, it is completely okay to use all the learning and tech stack to provide the better outcome and quality reports and quality product with use of Gen AI and all other tools. Because the expectations is now that after learning the basics, they must apply these things quickly so that they can solve complex problem which otherwise may not be possible without the use of those tech stacks. So I believe that it's very important that we bring this to our own Bharat, that we use AI to upscale our own day-to-day teaching practices, also to upscale our student learning experience so that they can apply AI knowledge in their job market, in their own startup. And I believe that this is the perfect time where student can be encouraged to do their own work to build Atmanirbhar Bharat, because you see, we require minimum of cost to start a startup if they are in CS. You just require a computer and you can start, and a good idea, and you can start implementing it with generative AI and other tech stack, and you can build your own system just in months work, and then you can deploy it on cloud. So it requires minimum investment, just you require a creative idea, as compared to if you are working in civil or mechanical or in other field which require a lot of investment. So we are blessed that we have opportunity to solve real problems for our nation, or uh, as a world as a whole, and to contribute effectively in those directions. So I hope this discussion um, will, or this FDP will help us to move in that direction, where a lot of you people will able to learn and apply these skills, and further you will deliver these things to your student. That is our ultimate end goal. So I strongly recommend you, whatever you learn during this FDP, please take this forward and make sure you must train your class on that. So please make sure that whatever your major learning, bring this to your classes once you complete that course. So with this, we have 4 minutes. I would like to open this quiz for you. It would be fun. It is just like a fastest finger first, KBC. तो अब हम KBC finger first. And let's see. Just give me a minute to check the settings. Okay, so this is the QR code. You can open that. So, or this is the pin. It's on kahoot.it. But otherwise, by opening this QR code, you can start it. We are waiting for players. We have 150 participants right now, virtually. अब देखते हैं कितने actually join कर रहे हैं या सुन रहे हैं हमें. So, यहाँ से एक check हो जाता है कि how many are actually active participants to our course. So please join. We have 2-3 minutes. I don't want to take more time. So yeah, please quickly join and then I will start. We have 4 questions. Fastest finger first. हर question के बाद आपके point add होते जाएंगे and finally we will have the winner. First 3 winners. We have a lot of questions in the chat. Thanks for wonderful comments. God bless you. Okay, so yeah, please now do it. We have only 13. वहां पे 150 दिखा रहा है. 18 हुए अभी. So we are looking for. I request each one of you to please join. It is just a fun. So you just need to scan QR code, or you can open this on your laptop, kahoot.it, and then it will ask for a pin, and the pin is displaying on your screen. Only 23 so far. Please join. So shall I start with only 27? Scan this QR code which is on your screen. So let's start. Okay, so the first question is on your screen. Okay, so let's see what is the response. Okay, 22 answer it correctly. It will not eliminate teacher involvement. Teacher would always be in the loop. We are not supposed to directly evaluate the assignment and just submit it. So this is the current leaderboard. Kavi is on number 1. Nidhi, Nana, 2 and 3. Let's move to the next question. Very good. So this is the leaderboard. Oh, Kavi is still we have first 3 positions. Same good. Which violets? Very good. Now it changed. Okay. Last question. Wow, good. So let's see our podium. So, yeah, number 3 is JK. Congratulations. Number 2 is Nidhi. Very good. And who is first with 3 points? Kavi. Very good. So, I request each one of you to unmute yourself. We have top 5, Neha and RB also. So, JK, you are number 3. Can you unmute and introduce to all of us? JK, can you unmute and please introduce to all of us?
You
Nidhi.
can share your name with JK.
Yes, I have unmuted all.
Hello, good evening, sir.
It's Jashandeep Kaur. I suppose you have again muted yourself. Yeah.
Hanji, good evening, ma'am. Myself, Dr. Jashan from DAV University, Jalandhar.
Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Actually, every one of us here is inclined with research because most of us are teachers and into research work. So everybody was basically curious whether this AI is giving us, whether it's a cheating or not. So Dr. Prateek has very well conveyed this to us, and we have answered our own queries through the quiz that he has brought in front of us. We know the answers, we know what the ethics are, and definitely we know what generative AI is. And I feel that this hands-on session had definitely quiz has basically given us the we can say the way out to our thoughts, what we were writing or pouring down into the chat box. And
Yeah,
sir,
so,
definitely, if you go to the chat box, it is full of praise for your session.
Thank you, thank you. So I just want to get more detail about our participants who are on top. So Nidhi, Kavi, JK, everyone introduce?
Yes, sir. My name is Nidhi Kaushal from DAV College, Amritsar only. So
Very
I'm
good, thank you.
providing technical assistance for this very session.
Very good. So you are also number 2 on this quiz.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Thank you
And
so much.
one more, please. Mm-hmm. Okay, before winding up this session, I just want to take another minute. I know I have already taken more time, but just bear with me so that we can conclude it. Um, as mentioned in the beginning, we have created a lot of contents for the students which you can use in your classes. One of this is YouTube channel where we have 600 videos on machine learning, DBMS, and all those things. So I strongly recommend to look into that YouTube channel and please explore more on this. This is the book which we published this year, Machine Learning with Python. This book is designed as a textbook for machine learning, so it's available at Amazon platform from Cambridge University. So please look into this book and you can recommend this to your students. This is the another book which I have authored for data mining and data warehousing. This is again a textbook from Cambridge University Press. If your university has data mining and data warehousing course, this is the perfect book which you can adapt for that course. Rama did not mention in the beginning. Actually, I started my career from DAV College, Amritsar, and this is the first book which I wrote by teaching
Yes.
students at DAV College. So it was 1998 when I started my career, and I worked there at DAV Amritsar for 6 years, 1998 to 2004. So Vikram, Rama, Datta sir, all are my colleagues.
So
So
we had the
it's
privilege to learn from you.
no, 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 no.
In fact.
So yeah. So this is the textbook which is on DBMS, and yeah, you can follow that. And now it is completely available free online on my website, so you can download those chapters and directly adapt those in your classes. I have created 7 online Udemy courses. These are the books, details of the book. There is a one course on explainable AI with Python, which is available at Udemy platform. Simplified approach to DBMS. This is full video lecture course which include, I think, 10 or 11-hour content, cover whole DBMS, SQL, PL/SQL, machine learning, genetic algorithms, association mining. So all these courses are, most of these courses are free. If you require access code to access those courses, I would be happy to share that. So this is my number. I always love to be in contact with the other colleagues. So you can visit my website at prateekbhatia.com. You can text me on my WhatsApp number, which is currently I'm using, and these are the other resources which you can follow. For everyone, I am sharing my website, so I strongly recommend you to please look into this, and it will help you to get all the information about our research work that we are doing, content that we are creating. So it would be nice to talk with all of you. And yeah, I always open to workshops, talks. So if you have anything for your institute, I will be happy to contribute. With this note, thanks to all of you, particularly Vikram sir, Rama sir, and all my colleagues back at DAV College Amritsar, of course, my friend Amardeep. So, yeah, thank you. God bless you. I have taken 10 minutes more. Okay, I'm sorry
It's
for
okay, sir. We
that.
are all enjoying the session. And still, I have to ask formally the participants if any query they want to raise with the expert, they can still ask it. So anybody, any question, any
one or
query?
two questions, na, Rama ma'am, they remain unattended. So let me
Yeah,
read
please.
for the, yes. One question is from Dr. Naina Handa, and she writes that what is the best way to rewrite age-generated content to give it a human touch and also to avoid the detection by AI tools?
So the best way to write it in your own words, in your own style.
Plagiarism,
So just get that.
you must be asking about.
Yeah. So just get that content as a draft and then work on those draft to write it in your own way and on your own thought. Any other questions?
Yeah, one another question is there. Is it safe to put your research data in Chat GPT for analysis?
Yeah, so this is very good and valid question. So of course there are some concern that it can be used by large language models and it can be used in generating other prompts. But directly it will not affect. But yeah, if you are sharing some very sensitive information, it is suggested not to do that directly. Paste those contents on chatbot.
Thank you, Prateek
Yes.
sir, for such a wonderful session.
Everybody
Thank you,
wants to
thank you.
connect to you, sir.
One more thing. One more thing I want to tell you, being the coordinator of this FTP. Actually, in this FTP, we have 13 session, 13 session, and we have 12 resource person. This means there is one resource person who is going to speak in 2 sessions. And that particular resource person is Dr. Prateek Bhatia. Because we personally feel you are a great person, a very knowledgeable person, a very good speaker. And tomorrow, my fellow colleague, Professor Puneet Sharma, will tell you, because I most of the time, Prateek.
Most of the time he renames me as Prateek only.
Sir, actually, everybody, one of us wants to connect to you and be connected with you. So everybody is just inspiring. Let me say something about you.
We want to connect with you most of the times. So that's the reason we have one more session with you tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time. So over to you, Puneet Sharma sir. Not Pratik.
I just want to formally thank Dr. Pratik sir to extend my vote of thanks and heartfelt gratitude for sharing his valuable insights on such a dynamic and important topic. And in his deliberations, sir has elaborated on the vital role of AI in the education sector. And that was and definitely he highlighted that how AI supports personalized and adaptive learning. Dr. Bhatia, in a very simplified way, showed how AI-powered system can assist educators, in fact, in monitoring learner progress, providing data-driven feedback, and automating repetitive administrative tasks. So this allowed teachers to focus more on creative pedagogy and mentoring. He also underlined the contributions of AI in enhancing accessibility, supporting learners with diverse needs, and creating a more inclusive educational environment. So thank you so much, sir. And definitely your expertise and visions are truly inspiring. And I would definitely request you, sir, again, to share us a video bite with your feedback of this FTP with me after this session and for this session, definitely. And also, I request you to kindly share 3-4 MCQs based on today's session for conducting final quiz for the last day for the participants. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Bye bye. See you tomorrow.
1 second, sir. Just I need to.
Yeah. Anji.
Yes, over to Puneet, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Rama, ma'am. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to all our distinguished resource persons for their invaluable contribution throughout the 4th day of our FDP. I sincerely thank Mr. Gaurav Anand, Associate Director, KPMG Bengaluru, as the resource person of the first session of the day, for taking us through the fascinating journey of AI and enlightening us about the 4 essential pillars like people, process, platform, and partnerships required for a successful AI program. His insightful presentation offered a clear roadmap for integrating AI effectively into innovation and development. My profound appreciation for Dr. Pratik Bhatia, Associate Professor, Washington State University, USA, for taking us on yet another thought-provoking journey, tracing the remarkable evolution of learning tools from chalk to Gen AI, and for inspiring us to embrace this transformative shift in education with curiosity and confidence. Thanks also goes to our reporters of the day, Professor Dr. Renu Sharma and Professor Dr. Rama Bhardwaj, and also to the technical support team ably led by Professor Nidhi Kaushal for ensuring the smooth execution of today's sessions. Thanks to all our participants for their enthusiastic engagements. Same way we have the 2 sessions for the tomorrow day, means 5th day. The first session will be engaged by Dipinder Singh Nagi, Associate Director, FIL Chandigarh, and the topic will be data generation using modeling and simulation for machine learning. And the second session will be engaged by Pratik sir only, and he will be taking us through yet another journey of multi-modal facial cues-based engagement detection system in e-learning context using the deep learning. So that's all for the day. See you all tomorrow. Thank you once again, ma'am. Over to you, ma'am. Nidhi Kaushal, ma'am.